Hello, everyone. My name is Regina Atim, and I am the co-founder of Clinicians Touch ALLYVE, your pregnancy ally. I founded ALLYVE for all of the women who have experienced heartburn, shortness of breath, or heart palpitations, and it was dismissed and not followed up upon, only to later find out that they were having some early indicators of cardiovascular complications that sometimes occur in women that are pregnant. Sometimes this occurs initially during pregnancy, so they wouldn't have had any indications before that, and they would not therefore have been classified as high risk. So as you know, these symptoms are common symptoms of pregnancy. So it's no wonder that heart disease is the #1 killer of women during pregnancy, because how do you know? Well, at ALLYVE, we have a solution for this. Our solution is getting to the heart of maternal health. We have created a system that includes a maternal health bracelet that collects health data, including the ECG and some other monitoring parameters, as well as an application that the user can, of course, input any symptoms that they might be having. This system is secure, and it can also be integrated within your EHR. So what is it about a woman's heart that makes us so vulnerable to heart disease? Well, when we are pregnant, our heart demands a lot more blood flow to be pushed through. And as such, our bodies need to compensate for that. Normally, we can do that without an issue, but sometimes those compensation measures do not actually go as they should. Because of that, a woman's heart pumping up to 50% more blood than normal, as well as having any other adverse events that may occur, really puts too much pressure on the heart and causes injury. This leads to cardiovascular disease, and so we want to be able to monitor patients throughout their pregnancy to ensure that we can detect those early signals and intervene in time. So at the end of the day, even though cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer of women, and we haven't necessarily had any of the so many solutions for it, at Clinicians Touch ALLYVE, we're doing so. So our solution has a few features that I'd like to highlight. We have our ongoing monitoring that can detect abnormal heart rhythms, pericardiomyopathy, in addition to any other cardiomyopathy that might be taking place. Patients can, of course, report their symptoms, and through this system, their doctor can understand maybe what's going on with them and have some data to back up whatever theories that they might be having. Our system is, of course, enforced with machine learning and predictive technology to help us with our risk stratification of patients that might have a higher risk during pregnancy. We do have a delivery assist, because for patients with cardiovascular disease, they may need to get to a higher critical hospital. So if they are diagnosed, they should probably plan to be at a hospital of higher acuity so that they can get the help that they need. And most importantly, we have postpartum tracking. And this is because most adverse events in pregnancy actually occur postpartum, and that's where most deaths occur, 60%, in fact. And of course, we're HIPAA compliant and cyber secure, like I mentioned earlier. This is our system workflow. You have the bracelet. It's stored along with other information. The patient has their application, and of course, their physician also gets access to this information through our secure cloud. We also facilitate telemedicine, and this is really great for patients who may need to get in touch with other providers that they may have, as well as their doulas, their support system, their caregivers. And what's nice about this is because of our system, different providers are looking at the same data. So even if it's not caught by one provider, perhaps another one could. So who is our leadership team? I'm the CEO, and I'm a pharmacist by trade with over 15 years of experience across the healthcare spectrum. I've worn different hats, including working in labor and delivery in the NICU, but I've also worked in device development and with Cerner, which is now Oracle, which is an EHR. So I understand how important it is to understand all of the different stakeholders that might have to utilize your device. We also have Mr. Tree Lee, who is the founder of Microtech. And I partnered with him because he has developed chip functionality, and we will be utilizing his chip in our device. And we are great partners in that we'll be able to iterate our device a lot faster. And then we have Dr. Kutsai Dumbo, who is our advisor and MD, OBGYN. She's bringing a lot of insight from the provider standpoint, what workflows will work. And then, of course, we have Mohammed Kasim, who is our experienced product manager. He also currently works at Oracle NetSuite, and he brings his experience of cloud-based platforms as well as cybersecurity. So our market is large. There are 200 million pregnancies worldwide. In the US, that number is 5.5 million per year. We are targeting 275,000 patients through year 5. And we are going to be going for B2B marketing, $500 per bracelet, and then, of course, we have our subscription, which will be $50 a month. And then we'll also be going direct to consumer because we do want to empower patients to be able to have this device if they choose to, without necessarily having to be given the device by their provider. And so that will also be $500, and they will have a subscription of $60 per month. Or there's an alternative to make it more affordable, $99 a month for 15 months or beyond, because we do want to cover them postpartum as well. So our 5-year revenue stream, we're looking at $350 million by year 5. And what does our competitive landscape look like? We do have some competitors out there, lots of them, but the main ones are Bloom Life, Apple Watch, and Fitbit. And Bloom Life is specific to maternal patients. However, some of their devices are quite bulky, and they do a lot of the things that we do, but we have it in all customized in a bracelet. With Apple Watch, they do monitor all of these features. However, with Apple, if you have a pre-existing condition of cardiovascular disease, AFib, they do ask that you turn that feature off. So in a way, they're not customized for women and for monitoring during pregnancy. And then, of course, there's Fitbit, which pulls in the data, but it's not necessarily creating the device itself. They're pulling in the data from other devices. So we are raising $2 million, and this money is going to be used to fully develop our MVP as well as to complete our clinical trial and file a regulatory 510(k). I do have a history of working in clinical trials and medical device development, so we think we can do this in a very nimble fashion. If there are any questions, please feel free to pull me aside after this presentation, and I look forward to speaking with you. Thank you.